Have you ever found yourself waking up in the middle of the night, feeling restless or worried, wondering if it's just part of getting older? Maybe you've noticed your memory slipping a bit or felt more tired than usual, brushing it off as normal aging. But what if I told you that some common habits many of us trust, like the vitamins we take every day, could be quietly putting us at risk? It's easy to think that more vitamins mean better health, especially when we hear so much about staying strong and sharp as we age. Yet, this is a little-known truth that many seniors overlook, and it can have serious consequences. In today's video, I'm going to share a surprising discovery about a vitamin that might raise your stroke risk overnight, and what you can do to protect yourself. Let's explore this together. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. For so many older Americans, the word stroke can feel like a distant storm on the horizon, something you hope never comes close, but always quietly worry about. You might remember hearing about a neighbor who suffered a stroke, or maybe it happened to someone in your own family. Perhaps you've had that subtle anxiety, especially when you wake up feeling a bit off, or when your hand trembles unexpectedly as you reach for your coffee. Most days, you probably reassure yourself, I check my blood pressure, I take my cholesterol medicine, I even walk every morning. I'm doing all the right things. And you're not alone. Millions of seniors across the United States are paying close attention to what doctors have told them for years. Monitor your blood pressure, control your blood sugar, watch your cholesterol, stay active, and eat right. But here's a reality that often goes unspoken. Despite all our best efforts, strokes remain alarmingly common for people over 65. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 3/4 of all strokes happen to those aged 65 or older. Every 40 seconds, someone in America has a stroke, and the risk only increases with age. For those who survive, strokes can take away independence, mobility, even speech, turning everyday life upside down in a single moment. Yet, amidst all this focus on the obvious culprits, high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, there's a blind spot that hardly anyone talks about. Think back to your routine. Maybe you start your day by reaching for a few pills in the kitchen cabinet. A multivitamin, maybe some extra vitamin E or B12, perhaps even something you saw on a commercial or heard about from a friend. It's become second nature for American seniors to trust that a handful of supplements can help them stay sharp and strong. After all, the message is everywhere, more is better, and you can't get enough of the good stuff. But is it really that simple? Let's pause and ask an honest question. When was the last time you spoke to your doctor about all the vitamins and supplements you take? For many, the answer is never. There's a cultural belief that if it's sold over the counter, it must be safe. No prescription, no problem. So every morning, millions of older adults swallow their vitamins with their coffee, thinking they're building a fortress around their health. The truth is, while vitamins are important, there's such a thing as too much of a good thing. And in some cases, certain vitamins, especially when taken in high doses or without medical guidance, can quietly increase the risk of stroke. Why does this happen? To understand, we have to look at the science in a way that makes sense for daily life. Our bodies are miraculous in how they process nutrients, but as we age, the way we absorb and handle vitamins can change. Take vitamin E, for example, a nutrient once championed as a heart protector. In recent years, studies have shown that taking high-dose vitamin E supplements, especially on top of what's already in a healthy diet, can increase the risk of bleeding in the brain, a particular kind of stroke known as a hemorrhagic stroke. The same goes for some B vitamins. While B6 and B12 are essential for nerve health and brain function, excessive supplementation, particularly among people with a history of heart disease or who already get enough from food, may be linked with an increased risk of stroke. What's surprising to many is just how little it takes to tip the balance. Our bodies aren't always able to get rid of the extra vitamins as easily as we think. The excess can build up over time, quietly, with no warning signs until it's too late. Meanwhile, the more is better mindset is quietly working against us. It's so easy to believe that if one pill is good, two must be better, and three must be the best of all. It's also easy to overlook the fine print on supplement bottles, or to forget that many processed foods are already fortified with extra vitamins. Before you know it, you're taking far more than you realize. There's another side to this story too, the feeling of reassurance and control that comes from taking supplements. For many older adults, every vitamin swallowed feels like one small way to push back against the fear of aging, to hold on to memories and independence just a little bit longer. The intention is so good, and so human. But as one retired schoolteacher in Florida put it, I thought I was doing everything right. I never missed my morning vitamins, and I even took extra on days when I felt run down. It wasn't until my doctor asked about my supplements after my minor stroke that I realized I was taking way too much. So, what can you do to protect yourself, without giving up the sense of control and hope that vitamins seem to offer? First, let's agree that knowledge is the most powerful supplement you can have. Start by making a complete list of every vitamin and supplement you take. Don't forget things like fortified cereals, energy bars, or drinks. Bring this list to your next doctor's appointment. Don't be shy or embarrassed. Your doctor isn't there to judge, but to help you figure out what's truly helpful and what might be risky. Sometimes, a simple blood test or review of your diet can show whether you're getting enough or too much of certain nutrients. Second, remember that the best source of vitamins is often the most natural, real food. Fresh fruits, leafy greens, whole grains, nuts, and lean proteins are packed with nutrients in the right amounts, and your body knows how to use them. Supplements are just that, a supplement, not a replacement for good meals. If you do need extra vitamins, let it be because of a clear medical need, not because of advertising or habit. Take only the dose recommended by your doctor, and steer clear of megadoses that promise miracle results. Let's not forget the power of community and support. Talk openly with your spouse, children, or close friends about your health routines. Share what you've learned, and encourage each other to ask questions and stay informed. Maybe you can inspire someone you care about to double-check their supplement routine, and together, avoid unnecessary risks. And above all, remember, you have the strength, wisdom, and life experience to make smart choices. Growing older doesn't mean losing control. It means being wise about where to focus your efforts. Don't let fear guide you, but don't let habit blind you either. The reality is, stroke risk is real, and it affects far too many seniors in America every single day. But with the right information, you can protect yourself and continue to enjoy the things you love. Family dinners, walks in the park, the laughter of grandchildren, and the satisfaction of living life on your terms. So, take a moment today to look honestly at your habits. Ask yourself, not out of fear, but out of care, am I helping myself, or am I following old advice that needs an update? If you're unsure, reach out for help. There's no shame in learning something new or changing your routine. It's one of the most courageous things you can do. After all, every day is a new chance to protect your health and your future. And if you ever feel alone in this journey, remember, there's a whole community of seniors across America who are walking this path right alongside you, learning, adjusting, and striving to stay strong. You're not alone, and your health matters, today, tomorrow, and for many years to come. If you open the medicine cabinet in almost any home in America, you'll likely find at least one bottle of vitamin supplements. For decades, we've been told that vitamins are the secret to vitality, a sort of daily insurance policy against the effects of aging. And among all the pills and capsules, one vitamin has stood out as a supposed miracle for brain and heart health: vitamin E. For years, headlines promised that taking extra vitamin E could protect your memory, keep your blood vessels clear, and help you live longer. Doctors recommended it, magazines praised it, and friends pass the advice along in church groups, bridge clubs, and family gatherings. It's easy to see why. The idea that something as simple as a vitamin could shield us from serious diseases is comforting, especially as we get older and worry more about heart attacks, strokes, and dementia. Vitamin E is one of the most popular supplements among American seniors, with millions taking it daily, often in doses much higher than what you'd get from food alone. Many people combine a daily multivitamin with separate vitamin E capsules, never pausing to question whether more is actually better. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But here's where things take a turn that most people never expect. Over the last 2 decades, scientists have begun to discover that high doses of vitamin E may not be the harmless shield we hoped for. In fact, in some cases, it may quietly raise your risk of exactly the kind of crisis you're trying to avoid, a stroke. How could something so widely trusted become a hidden danger? The answer lies in the way vitamin E works inside the body, especially as we age. At normal levels, vitamin E acts as a powerful antioxidant. It helps protect our cells, supports our immune system, and plays a role in keeping our blood from clotting too quickly. That all sounds wonderful, until you realize that blood needs to clot at just the right rate. Too much clotting, and you risk a blockage. Too little, and you risk bleeding. Here's where the science gets both simple and deeply important. High-dose vitamin E can thin your blood. If you're over 65, especially if you're already taking medications like aspirin, warfarin, or other blood thinners, adding extra vitamin E can tip the scales too far. The result? Your blood may not clot when it needs to, increasing your risk for a particular kind of stroke called a hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding in the brain. These strokes can be especially severe, often leaving people with lifelong disabilities or worse. It's important to understand that this risk isn't the same for everyone. Many healthy adults can handle modest amounts of vitamin E without a problem. But for seniors, whose bodies process vitamins differently, and who are more likely to be on other medications or have medical conditions, the danger rises significantly, especially when large doses are taken without a doctor's guidance. The numbers are real. In a landmark clinical trial conducted in the United States called the HOPE Heart Outcomes Prevention Evaluation Study, researchers followed thousands of adults over the age of 55, many of whom were at high risk for heart problems. Half the group was given high-dose vitamin E, while the other half got a placebo. The results were sobering. Not only did vitamin E fail to protect against heart attacks or strokes, but those who took high doses experienced more cases of hemorrhagic stroke. The difference was small but significant, and it prompted doctors everywhere to rethink their advice. Further studies have echoed these warnings. One major review published in the Journal of the American Medical Association looked at dozens of vitamin E studies and concluded that, particularly at doses over 400 IU per day, the risk of stroke, and even overall death, actually increased. Imagine that. Something millions of people take in hopes of living longer might be quietly making things worse. It's a difficult truth to face, especially when we want so much to believe in simple solutions. Many people still haven't heard this news, and continue to add extra vitamin E to their routines, often without telling their doctors. And it's not just vitamin E. Other vitamins, like high-dose B6 and B12, have come under scrutiny too, especially for people who already get enough from their diet. Let me share a real-life story that brings all this science down to earth. Not long ago, I met a patient named Harold, a 74-year-old retired postman from Iowa. His name has been changed for privacy. Harold prided himself on staying independent. He walked every morning, managed his medications carefully, and read every health article he could find. A few years back, he started taking vitamin E after seeing a TV segment about its supposed brain benefits. It seemed harmless, he told me. Just a little extra insurance. But Harold also took aspirin for his heart, on his doctor's orders. He never thought to mention the vitamin E, and his doctor, like many, never asked. Then, one evening, Harold's wife found him confused and unable to speak. He had collapsed in the hallway. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, where a brain scan showed a small bleed, a hemorrhagic stroke. Thankfully, Harold survived and slowly recovered most of his abilities, but his confidence was shaken. In the days after, doctors pieced together the puzzle. The combination of aspirin and high-dose vitamin E had likely tipped Harold's blood too far toward not clotting, setting the stage for a bleed that might otherwise never have happened. "I thought I was doing everything right," Harold said quietly from his hospital bed. "No one ever told me too much of a vitamin could be dangerous." His story isn't unique. Across the country, countless older adults are doing their best to follow health advice, yet accidentally putting themselves at risk because the conversation about vitamins is incomplete. The truth is, our bodies change as we age. What works at 45 may not work at 75. And just because something is natural or sold in a pharmacy doesn't mean it's always safe, especially in higher doses or combined with other medications. So, what can you take away from all of this? If you're taking vitamin E or any other supplement, talk openly with your doctor. Don't assume it's harmless. Bring a list of every pill you take, even if it's just a vitamin. Ask whether you need it and at what dose. Remember, the goal isn't to make you afraid of vitamins, but to help you use them wisely and safely, in a way that truly protects your health. The science is clear. For many older adults, more isn't always better. Sometimes, less is safer. It's a lesson that can save lives, and help you continue enjoying every walk, every grandchild's hug, and every moment that makes life sweet. You don't have to give up hope or the desire to take charge of your health. But you do deserve all the facts, so you can make choices that keep you safe, strong, and living well for years to come. As we get older, we begin to understand just how precious our health really is. We do everything we can to keep our bodies and minds in good shape, taking our medication, making doctor's appointments, and, sometimes, turning to vitamins and supplements for an added boost. But while some habits help us thrive, others can quietly raise risks we never imagined, especially when it comes to stroke. Let's talk honestly about who is most at risk when it comes to strokes, especially strokes that might be triggered or worsened by high-dose vitamin supplements. If you're watching this and you're over 65, you already know that age alone brings new challenges. Our bodies process food, medicine, and vitamins differently than they did in our younger days. What's easy to overlook, though, is how these changes can make us more vulnerable to side effects or complications that we never used to worry about. It's a sobering truth. Seniors over 65 are at the highest risk for strokes. In fact, according to the American Stroke Association, nearly 3 out of 4 strokes happen to people in this age group. That's why every decision you make about your health matters more than ever, including the decision to take certain vitamins or supplements. But age isn't the only factor. If you have high blood pressure, you're in an even higher risk group. High blood pressure is often called the silent killer, because it can cause damage for years without any symptoms at all. Over time, it weakens blood vessels and makes them more likely to rupture or become blocked. No, we imagine adding a supplement that changes how your blood clots or how your body handles pressure inside your arteries. Suddenly, the scale tips, and what seemed like a harmless routine could lead to real danger. Clotting issues are another critical risk. Some people know they have problems with blood clotting. Maybe you're already on a blood thinner like warfarin or aspirin. Maybe you have a history of clotting disorders in your family, or your doctor has warned you to be careful with medications that affect bleeding. High doses of certain vitamins, like vitamin E, can increase the risk of bleeding even further, especially when combined with these medications. It's a risk that's often overlooked, simply because so many supplements are seen as safe. Diabetes is also a big part of this conversation. If you have diabetes, your blood vessels are already under stress. High blood sugar weakens the arteries, and when you add in any supplement that might affect clotting or blood pressure, the risk of a stroke becomes even greater. Heart disease works similarly. The more conditions you have, hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, the more careful you need to be with every pill, every vitamin, and every choice. But there's another group at risk that many people never consider: those taking supplements without medical guidance. It's so easy to pick up a bottle of vitamins at the grocery store, pharmacy, or even order them online after reading a glowing review or seeing an ad on TV. But what those ads don't tell you is that the very same vitamin that helped your neighbor or your sister might not be safe for you, especially if you have underlying health problems or take certain medications. The problem is even worse when people mix and match multiple supplements, each with its own set of effects. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Now, let's talk about the warning signs. Stroke can strike without warning, but there are classic symptoms that should never be ignored. One of the most common is a sudden, severe headache, especially if it comes out of nowhere and feels unlike any headache you've had before. Sometimes people describe it as the worst headache of their life. This could be a sign of bleeding in the brain, and if you're taking blood-thinning supplements, that risk goes up. Weakness or numbness is another red flag, particularly if it happens on just one side of the body. Maybe you're watching TV and suddenly realize your arm or leg feels heavy and hard to move. Perhaps your face droops, or you notice you're dragging one foot when you try to walk. These are not just normal signs of aging. They are urgent warnings that your brain isn't getting the blood it needs. Slurred speech is another telltale sign. If you try to talk and your words come out jumbled or hard to understand, don't chalk it up to just being tired or having a bad day. The same goes for dizziness or trouble with balance. If you suddenly feel like the room is spinning, or you can't keep your footing, something serious could be happening inside your head. It's all too easy to downplay these symptoms. Many seniors are tough, independent, and used to pushing through. Maybe you don't want to make a fuss or bother your family or call 911 unless you're sure. But with a stroke, every second counts. The sooner you get help, the better your chances of recovery. Treatments for stroke work best when they're given quickly, often within the first few hours. Delaying can mean the difference between a full recovery and a life changed forever. Let me share a story that brings this to life. A woman named Evelyn, age 70, was always health conscious. She took her vitamins every day, including a high-dose vitamin E supplement she'd read about in a magazine. One morning, she noticed her right arm felt numb and her speech sounded strange, even to her ears. Her daughter urged her to go to the hospital, but Evelyn hesitated. She didn't want to cause a scene. By the time she arrived at the emergency room, precious hours had passed. Thankfully, she received treatment, but her recovery was long and challenging. Evelyn later learned that the combination of her age, high blood pressure, and the vitamin supplement had all played a part. Her story is a powerful reminder that we must all be vigilant, not just for ourselves, but for our loved ones. If you ever notice a sudden headache, weakness, numbness, slurred speech, dizziness, or trouble walking, don't wait. Call 911 or get to the nearest emergency room. It's better to be safe and find out it's nothing than to lose your chance for treatment. If you take vitamins or supplements, talk openly with your healthcare provider about what you use and why. There is no shame in asking questions or changing a sign of strength and self-respect. Remember, the goal is to protect your health so you can enjoy your days with confidence, surrounded by the people and experiences you love most. So, take this as a gentle but firm encouragement. You matter. Your health matters. And a moment of action, making the call, getting to the doctor, or even just having a conversation, can make all the difference in your life or the life of someone you love. Don't let worry or uncertainty stand in your way. The risks are real, but so is your power to make smart, safe choices every single day. As we age, taking care of our health can start to feel like a full-time job. We want to do everything in our power to stay strong, independent, and engaged with the world around us. It's natural to look for simple ways to boost our well-being, like adding a vitamin or supplement to our daily routine. But with so much advice out there, it can be hard to know what's truly helpful and what might quietly cause harm. Let's talk honestly about how seniors can stay safe with vitamins and supplements. For many, the temptation to do more comes from a good place. The desire to feel better, to prevent illness, and to keep up with children, grandchildren, and friends. You might have a neighbor who swears by a handful of pills every morning, or see advertisements on TV promising more energy and a sharper mind with just one more supplement. It's easy to believe that if a little is good, more must be better. But here's the gentle truth. When it comes to vitamins, more is not always better. Taking extra doses or combining multiple supplements can sometimes do more harm than good, especially for people over 65. Our bodies process nutrients differently as we get older, and what we need in our 70s or 80s may be very different from what we needed in our 40s or 50s. Safe vitamin use starts with a simple rule. Never increase your dosage or add new supplements just because you think it might help. That bottle at the drugstore might look harmless, but every pill you take affects your body, sometimes in ways you can't see right away. Even vitamins that sound healthy can interact with medicines, change the way your blood clots, or put extra stress on your kidneys and liver. One of the most important things you can do for yourself is to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement. If you're over 65, or if you have chronic health conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease, this step is even more critical. Your doctor knows your health history, understands what medications you're on, and can help you figure out what's necessary and what you might not need at all. It's not about being scolded or judged. It's about making sure your health plan is right for you. Whenever you pick up a new bottle, whether it's a vitamin, mineral, or herbal supplement, read the label carefully. American brands sometimes pack high doses into small pills, and the serving size might not match what your body needs. Look for the amount of each vitamin in every dose, and make sure it doesn't add up to more than what's recommended for someone your age. If you're unsure, jot it down and bring it to your next appointment. Your pharmacist can also help explain what's in each supplement and check for interactions with your prescription medications. Another thing to keep in mind is that combining multiple supplements, especially multivitamins or complex products, can easily lead to taking too much. For example, you might be getting vitamin E from your multivitamin, plus another dose from a separate supplement, and more from fortified foods or drinks. Before you know it, you're taking several times more than your body needs. That's why it's so important to keep a list of everything you take, including over-the-counter pills, drinks, or bars, and share it with your healthcare provider. While supplements can play a helpful role for some people, especially those with specific deficiencies or medical conditions, the best source of vitamins for most of us is real, whole food. Our bodies were made to absorb nutrients from fruits, vegetables, fish, lean meats, beans, nuts, and grains, not just from pills or powders. When you focus on a colorful, balanced diet, you get vitamins in forms your body recognizes and uses efficiently, along with other nutrients like fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants that work together for your health. Try making small, delicious changes to your meals. Add a handful of spinach or kale to your eggs in the morning. Swap white bread for whole grain. Snack on a piece of fruit or a small handful of walnuts instead of chips or cookies. Enjoy salmon or grilled chicken with roasted vegetables for dinner. Treat yourself to berries for dessert. Every bite is a chance to give your body the building blocks it needs. And when you eat well, you may find you need fewer supplements, or none at all. Of course, there are times when your doctor may recommend a vitamin, like vitamin D or B12, especially if tests show you're low. In those cases, follow their advice about the right dose and type. Finally, regular health checkups are one of the smartest habits you can keep. Seeing your doctor or nurse practitioner at least once a year gives you a chance to check on your blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and kidney function, all things that can change as we get older. It's also a good time to review your list of supplements and medications, ask any questions, and talk about changes you've noticed in your body or mood. Don't wait until something feels wrong to make that appointment. Preventive care is like regular maintenance for your car. It keeps everything running smoothly and catches small issues before they become big ones. You deserve the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're doing everything you can to stay healthy and independent. And remember, you don't have to navigate all this alone. Ask your spouse, children, or a trusted friend to help keep track of your supplements, go to appointments with you, or just listen when you need to talk. There's real strength in asking for support, and you might even help someone else in your circle avoid a health scare. Here's what it all boils down to. Don't let ads or friends pressure you into taking something you don't need. Talk openly and honestly with your doctor about everything you take, from prescription pills to herbal teas. Trust in the power of good food and regular checkups to keep you feeling your best. You've earned the right to enjoy your golden years with confidence, energy, and joy. A few smart habits, along with the wisdom you already carry, will help you do just that. So, be gentle with yourself, stay curious, and remember, sometimes less really is more when it comes to your health. For many seniors, the desire to stay healthy and independent is a quiet but ever-present companion. You might find yourself browsing the shelves at the pharmacy, reading labels that promise better memory, stronger hearts, or more energy. It's easy to be tempted, especially when you hear from friends or read articles about the miracle effects of certain vitamins. Maybe you think, what's the harm? Everyone says it's good for you. It seems like such a small decision, a new bottle on the kitchen counter, another step in your daily routine. But have you ever paused to wonder if all those well-meaning choices might sometimes have hidden risks? We're used to thinking of vitamins as nothing but helpful, a sort of health insurance in a pill. Yet, is it possible that something meant to protect you could, in rare cases, do just the opposite? Take the story of Mrs. Miller, a lively 72-year-old from Ohio who loved spending her days gardening and attending her church's book club. Like many her age, she wanted to keep her mind sharp and her heart strong. After reading an article online about the brain-boosting powers of vitamin E, she decided to add a high-dose supplement to her morning routine. "I just want to do everything I can to keep up with my grandkids," she said, smiling as she swallowed her new vitamin with her coffee. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Mrs. Miller didn't think to mention the change to her doctor at her next appointment. After all, she was already taking her prescribed medication for high blood pressure, and a vitamin seemed like such a harmless addition. Weeks passed without any problems, and life rolled on as usual. Then, one evening after dinner, Mrs. Miller stood up and was overcome by a wave of dizziness. The room spun, her right arm felt weak, and her words slurred when she tried to call out to her daughter, who happened to be visiting. Thankfully, her daughter recognized the signs of a stroke and called 911 right away. The ambulance arrived within minutes, and Mrs. Miller was rushed to the emergency room. In the hours that followed, the Miller family waited anxiously at the hospital, hearts heavy with worry and fear. The doctors explained that Mrs. Miller had suffered a mild hemorrhagic stroke, a type of stroke caused by bleeding in the brain. They soon discovered that her combination of blood pressure medication and high-dose vitamin E had made her blood too thin, tipping the scales just enough to cause a bleed. The family was shocked. "We had no idea a vitamin could do something like this," her daughter admitted. Mrs. Miller herself was filled with regret. She'd only wanted to take care of herself, to be proactive, never imagining her choice could have such consequences. Fortunately, because her daughter acted so quickly, Mrs. Miller was able to recover most of her strength through rehabilitation. The experience left a lasting impression on her entire family. They learned firsthand how important it is to share every change in your health routine with your doctor, no matter how minor it may seem. Vitamins, they realized, aren't always harmless, especially for older adults with chronic conditions or who take multiple medications. Mrs. Miller's story is a gentle but powerful reminder for all of us. We all want to live long, healthy lives for ourselves and our loved ones. We want to be present at family gatherings, walk our favorite trails, and feel confident in our independence. Sometimes, the choices we make with the best intentions can bring unexpected challenges. But we don't have to face them alone, and we don't have to feel ashamed for making a mistake. If you've ever added a supplement to your routine without checking with your doctor, you're not alone. The important thing is to learn, share your experiences, and help others stay safe. Talk openly with your doctor about every vitamin or pill you take, and encourage your friends and family to do the same. Knowledge is a powerful tool, and asking questions is a sign of strength, not weakness. Remember, taking care of yourself means more than just following the latest trends or promises on a bottle. It means making thoughtful, informed decisions and knowing when to ask for help. One small change, like consulting your doctor before starting something new, can make all the difference. Every day is a new opportunity to protect your health, and every lesson we learn is a gift we can pass on to others. So, be gentle with yourself, and know that you're not alone on this journey. We're all learning together. Let Mrs. Miller's story inspire you to be proactive, ask questions, and keep your loved ones close. With the right support and knowledge, you can continue to enjoy life's precious moments for years to come. As we wrap up today's story, I want to remind you just how much your health and happiness matter. Not just to you, but to everyone who loves you. The world of vitamins and supplements can feel overwhelming, especially when all you want is to make the right choices for yourself and your family. It's natural to want to do everything you can to stay strong, independent, and full of life. But sometimes, the safest path is the simplest one. Asking questions, staying curious, and talking with your doctor before making any changes to your routine. Mrs. Miller's journey teaches us an important lesson. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to overlook the small details that make a big difference in our well-being. Her courage in sharing her experience is a gift to us all, a reminder that there is no shame in making a mistake, only wisdom in learning from it. If you ever feel uncertain or have a question about your health, remember that reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. So, take a moment to look at your habits. Write down every supplement and medication you take, and bring that list to your next doctor's visit. Talk openly with your loved ones about your health, and encourage each other to do the same. Together, we can build a safer, healthier future, one choice at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this story helped you or made you think differently, please share it with a friend, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips and stories that matter to you. Take care, stay safe, and remember, you're never alone on this journey.